For you, where do these forms originate from? Are they a part of daily exploration, the sketchbook? Can you describe kind of what your artistic process is?
Where do these forms originate from? Um, yeah, that in general, I a lot of people ask me if I carve the pieces um, intuitively and kind of improvisationally, or if I have them planned first. And the general answer is yes. For the most part, I I work I work from sketches, and sketches are uh, a very large part of my process. So I'm sketching a lot. I think that's when I use my creative energy um, probably the most is in the sketching process, because that's really where the forms are developing. So I found that the skill obviously is necessary in order to work in that type of way. So because I have that ability to draw to that extent, to visualize objects in 3 dimensions and draw them on paper, it becomes an invaluable tool for me. And my sketches, before I before I start before I start a project, the sketch is very exact. It's very refined. So basically, when I work, I'm working to copy that sketch, but in 3D, of course, as opposed to the two-dimensional, um, as as exactly, pretty much. So there are some exceptions, and I do use improvisation sometimes, and there are some pieces that are completely improvised. But for the most part, this is the process, as I mentioned. And where do they come from? While I'm sketching, my main source of inspiration would have to be um, philosophical metaphysics, because that is my greatest passion in terms of studying and learning. And what goes along with metaphysics is self development or self change. That there To me, that's the kind of metaphysics I'm interested in, not just the philosophical kind of um, verbal or thought based or intellectual or kind of conclusive or argumentative philosophy, but rather the metaphysics that is closely connected to real existential change. Um, and so, while as I'm drawing, sometimes I'm listening to metaphysical sources or reading metaphysical material while I draw. That's actually often the case. So, for example, I might go to a coffee shop and read, and then the inspiration will come and I'll draw. So they're very closely connected. Other times I may just draw on its own, but after the form comes in retrospect, in reflection, I find that that the metaphysics are still what mainly inspires the form.